This video will discuss what scholarly and peer-reviewed sources are and what they look like in biology, and how to select and read those sources. I'm Melissa Gold. I'm the science librarian. Please contact me if you have any questions or ask a librarian at the link below. We're going to start with a previously searched topic. So we've already narrowed down our results and we're ready to review them and decide if those results are appropriate for our research topic and appropriate for an assignment. Oftentimes, professors may put limits on the type of articles you can use for an assignment. So they may mention that you need the scholarly literature or scholarly sources or peer-reviewed sources. So we're going to discuss what that means. Though you may have already selected something like academic journals within one of our databases, we're going to discuss what that means in case you ever are somewhere where you encounter an article and you need to figure out whether it's scholarly or not. If you use Google Scholar, sometimes it might not be clear. So we're going to talk about how you can determine whether something's scholarly or peer-reviewed, even if the database doesn't tell you. So this will help you whether you're using biological abstracts, any of our other databases, or using any other topic. So first, let's talk about what scholarly means. When you're looking at a source, consider the following criteria to determine whether it is a scholarly or academic source. These are all just synonymous terms that kind of mean the same thing. You may see scholarly, academic, peer-reviewed. Those are all referring to similar content. So consider the author, content, audience, references, and access. A scholarly academic source will be written by experts in the field. Professors, researchers, sometimes practitioners, they are going to be people that are very knowledgeable in what they're writing about. Also consider the content. You'll see usually original research. That's usually what you're looking for in the sciences, but sometimes scholarly literature can involve criticism or theory. Inside the content as well, the language will be very high level, technical, hard to understand often, that uses jargon within the discipline. The audience for these articles are other experts in the field. So other scholars, other biologists, things like that. You will also find references within these articles, a long list of references and formal citations throughout the paper. Additionally, access to these kinds of articles is often limited, and that means you might have to pay money, but you should never have to pay money. You can go through the library resources and we will pay the money for you. So don't ever pay for an article. We can get you that article. Let's see what this looks like in an actual article. Going back to our results set, if we were scrolling through deciding which ones to look at, let's say we're interested in looking at this article, Lead-Induced Oxidative Stress Mediates Sex-Specific Autistic-like Behavior. You can click on the Access Now PDF button if it's available, or look at the listing to see how you can access it. So now we're looking at the actual article. So let's look for some clues as to why this might be an academic or scholarly article. Right below the title, you'll notice that it mentions the article's author. You'll notice the superscripts, and if you scroll down, the superscripts link to the author's affiliation. So it tells you that this author is from the Department of Zoology at a university in India. So we already know that in some ways this author is potentially a scholar. You can also Google the author, see their other works, see what kind of expertise they have. If you scroll down, you can also look at the content of the article, and this can tell you a couple different things. The structure of scientific articles or scholarly articles is often very similar. Much like your lab reports, you'll have an abstract, you'll have an introduction, materials and methods, and various other sections that describe the research that was done. Results, often lots of results and pictures, discussion, lots of discussion, and then a conclusion, and ultimately a long list of references. You'll also see that these references are mentioned throughout and in text citations. So we have a lot of these endnotes, numbers to all the different citations. If you look at the language within the article, you'll also see that it's written at a high level for other professionals. So these are some of the clues that this article is in fact a scholarly or academic journal article. One step beyond a scholarly article is a peer-reviewed article. Most scholarly articles are peer-reviewed, but not every single one, so it's good to also check this parameter. All peer review is when fellow experts or scholars in a field, so in a biological field, evaluate an author's scholarly work like an article before it's published in order to verify and or improve it. So you'll have a peer in some area of biology that will review an article that's submitted to a journal, and they will look at the methodology, the methods used to see if those are appropriate for the type of experiment or research that's being conducted. They will make sure all of the language is appropriate. They will make sure that the references cited are appropriate, and they will make sure nothing's missing from the article. And then they'll make suggestions, and often authors have to revise their work before they can actually publish it. And that's all peer review is. It's just a way to check the integrity and accuracy of articles and make them better before they're published. So how can you check if a source is peer-reviewed? There's two really easy ways. You can check the journal's webpage for its publication policies, and that's really the best, most accurate way to check. Often there are also peer-reviewed filter options within the library databases, and I'll show you those. But in case you're using something like Google, Google Scholar, or looking outside the library, or one of our databases doesn't have that as an option, you should always double check to check the journal's webpage. Within biological abstracts, you will see that we've checked academic journals, and we can also check peer-reviewed. In this case, it won't make a difference because all the journals we're looking at do have this peer-reviewed link right here. But in case that's not an option within the database you're looking at, one way to double check, I said, is you can always look up the journal homepage. So all you can do is check the journal where it says published in this case, it's molecular neurobiology. We can do a quick Google search. I often add journal as well, so we're not just getting things on that topic. And then we just click on it to look at the home page. You'll see that this is the journal page. There's a nice little picture of the journal itself. Springer is the publisher. Often on the home page, you'll find something that mentions peer-reviewed. If you do not, if there's an about the journal, or in this case, an ethics page, those are also good places to look. So if we look at the ethics page, you'll see it talks about maintaining the highest level of integrity, different policies, and then at the very bottom, it says content published in this journal is peer-reviewed. Single blind, which is just a certain type of peer review. So we know for sure that this journal is peer-reviewed. If you have any other questions about how to select articles, please check out other videos on our channel or ask a librarian.